Hey, what's up? This is Andy from Every Time I Die. You're listening to Morgan Richards on Radio Cardiff.
Hey, I'm Morgan Richards from Radio Cardiff, 98.7 FM, and I'm very pleased to say that I'm backstage at the Slam Dunk Festival here in Birmingham. I'm joined by a band I can only describe as hot damn guitar phenomenons. It's the wonderful Andy of Every Time I Die.
Hi, how are you?
Hey man, you okay?
I'm great.
Yeah? How's things?
I'm tired right now, but yeah, I'm good. Jet lag is killing me right now. We haven't played a show, like yesterday, like Slam Dunk in Leeds was the first show we played in 6 months. So like, yeah, today we're all kind of, and I think we're the oldest band on the show. Oh no, Newfound Glory's on. So they're older than us, but I don't know if in age, but I know they've been around longer, but yeah, today I feel every bit of 38 today. Yeah.
So Andy, first things first, just recently you've all entered the studio in your hometown of Buffalo, New York, to start recording towards your 8th studio record with producer Will Putney. At the moment, how is it been coming along, and how far are you in the process?
Done. It's finished, yeah, and it's the best record we've ever done. I know that's like the most cliche thing to say, like, hey, this is our best record, but like, it really is, man. The record's just, it's phenomenal from like beginning to end. So I'm like super proud of it. I'm always proud of our stuff, but like this one I'm like exceptionally proud of.
And you guys have already stated that in just your first week working with Will, that he taught you a lot of new things about yourselves and helped strip back the music down to its bolts. So with this, could we see a new side to Every Time I Die, or?
I don't know if it's like a new side. It's like it's definitely like we trimmed a lot of the fat. You know what I mean? Like instead of like, it was kind of like working with Kurt Ballou and working with Will. It's like two different guys, but like super similar in the way they work, if that makes sense. Like, you know, Will comes from like he comes from like that, I don't know how to explain it, like the 7-string, 8-string North Lane, you know, like that world. And like Kurt comes from like a complete punk thing, but yet Will is like he's just as punk as Kurt is. It's just like he deals, you know, you got to pay the bills, so like he works. Not saying North Lane's like a bad band. I just use him as an example. But yeah, he's like that. That's like the world that people like those bands go to Will. But their thought process is very similar as to how they do things. And I think it was like, yeah, the learning started with Kurt, and then, which is insane because we recorded a record with Kurt when we were 16 years old. But like, yeah, now with Will, it was very similar, but just like trim the fat, and like he would just ask questions like I wouldn't do that, you know, and like, because you're like, we would think a riff is like just the most killer thing in the world. So like you got to think like for 2 months you're playing that song, just like, you know, practicing it, fine tuning it, and there's one riff you're like, oh, this riff is killer, and then like an outside perspective comes in and hears it, just isn't, the effect isn't there. They're not feeling it the way you're feeling it, and he's like, you should strip it back a little bit, and then like you think about it, and then like when you hear it in a whole, you're like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. But yeah, he's just yeah, both those dudes are geniuses. So yeah.
And of course, you're currently here in the UK for this year's Slam Dunk Festivals and performing 4 special nights in London. Has this side of the pond really become almost a second home for you all now?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think Canada will always be a second home because we played there so many times growing up. It's so close to us, like 10 minutes. But like this is like an alternate universe. You know what I mean? Like where we come over here and it's just like everything just works, and like the people get it, and like I don't know, like we're always welcomed. You know what I mean? So it's like if Buffalo is our home, like this is the bar we like to go to. You know what I mean? Like this is our local bar. Yeah. It's funny when we go all over the world and we'll play other places, and like people always ask me like, oh yeah, like where's your favorite place? I'm always like, England, like UK is just unfucking real, man. It's just always cool. The people are always awesome, and it's like I always meet people where I can just go hang with them, and like know that I'm like, it's gonna be fun. You know what I mean? Where like in the States, like it gets kind of weird. Like you're in Texas and the guy's like, yeah, man, go to this bar, and you're just like, I'm good. I'm gonna just sit here. Yeah.
And how did the idea of really performing 4 intimate shows in different sets each night in London really come about?
I don't know, really. I think it was just a matter of like, okay, we always play like the one big show. We'll play somewhere. I don't know where the fuck, but like we'll play like one big show, and it's like cool, but like the intimacy isn't there. We're like, you just play and then like we leave and like that's it. We're like, it's not like home. We're like at home, like, you know, you play. We always play smaller venues. Just keep coming back, and like the vibe is just there, and like you set. I think it's a better way for you guys to understand who we are as a band, where it's like we're gonna be just happy. You're gonna see us just happy, and it's funny because our booking agent, like the last show is at the Old Blue. I don't know what the hell the name is. I'm gonna fucking it up, but it's like really small, And yesterday he came up to me and goes, dude, you're gonna be so bummed after that last show. Like it's so small. And I was like, you're talking to the wrong dudes. Like we're gonna gloat about how sick that show was. And he's like, all right. I'm like, all right. Like we had like a little bit of an argument about it. But yeah.
And of course now you're going to be very busy throughout the rest of the year, just touring, being on the Vans Warped Tour and doing stuff for this new record. But what else can we really expect from Every Time I Die now in the near future?
Oh man, it's going to be just toured. It's funny, like Keith said it yesterday, and we were doing press yesterday, and I never thought of it like this, where so many bands are like, they try to go for the gimmick, where like, you know, like how can we get like all these people, and like I think people have just abandoned the way it's always been done. So like since a record has been pressed, you have to tour it to like show it. Like, so we're just gonna do the same thing, and just that we've always done. It's like, okay, rec comes out, just tour the fuck out of it, and just that's it. Instead of like coming out with a way where like he made a reference to like he goes, yeah, we're gonna play an iceberg in Antarctica to just Periscope, and it's like, why do you have to do that to like sell a record? Shouldn't just fucking go do what you do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's the truest, most honest way you can do that. Is just kick people's ass sonically, and they'll buy the record.
Okay. Well, fantastic. Well, that's about it. Cheers,
Awesome.
Andy, for taking time out to have a quick chat.
Oh, anytime, man. Anytime. Yeah.